Hello, Reds family. Welcome to Liverpool Breaking, the channel that brings you every official update and big news about our great club. If you're a true Liverpool supporter, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single story about the Reds. Let's go straight into today's Liverpool news. Liverpool Football Club are once again making headlines in the transfer window as they push to finalize one of the most surprising swap deals of the summer. According to ongoing discussions, Liverpool are in advanced negotiations with Crystal Palace for a deal that would see young midfielder Harvey Elliott move to Selhurst Park, while central defender Marc Guéhi heads to Anfield. The proposed arrangement is not a straight swap. Liverpool are expected to add cash on top of Elliott's inclusion in order to convince Palace to part ways with their defensive leader. While both clubs are still ironing out the finer details, sources close to the saga suggest progress has been significant, and the agreement could soon be formalized. Why Liverpool want Marc Guehi? For Liverpool, this transfer is about strengthening their defensive core. The Reds have been linked with multiple centre-backs since last season, following a campaign where injuries and inconsistency in the backline proved costly. Marc Guehi, a 23-year-old England international, has stood out as one of the most reliable young defenders in the Premier League since his move from Chelsea to Crystal Palace in 2021. His composure, leadership, and ability to read the game have made him a cornerstone of Palace's defense and a name constantly in Gareth Southgate's England squads. Liverpool's defensive rebuild under new management looks focused on securing long-term stability. While Virgil van Dijk remains the captain and defensive leader, he's entering the later stages of his career. Bringing in someone like Guehi provides both immediate quality and future planning. Liverpool's recruitment team also admire Guehi's ball-playing abilities, which fit perfectly into their system. His calmness under pressure and progressive passing would allow Liverpool to build from the back with confidence, something the club sees as vital in competing with the likes of Manchester City and Arsenal. Why Palace want Harvey Elliott? From Crystal Palace's perspective, losing Guehi would be painful, but they are not blind to the financial realities. Premier League clubs outside the so-called Big Six often face challenges keeping their best talents, especially when the top clubs come calling with strong offers. Harvey Elliott, though only 21 years old, is already an established Premier League player with Liverpool. Known for his creativity, work rate, and technical ability, Elliott has been described as one of the brightest midfield prospects in English football. Palace see Elliott as someone who could instantly add flair and creativity to their attack. Under manager Oliver Glasner, Palace are trying to evolve from a purely counter-attacking side into a more balanced team capable of breaking down opponents. Elliott's dribbling, vision, and energy in midfield would give them an extra dimension. Beyond football reasons, Elliott also represents a good investment for Palace. As a young English talent, his value is only expected to rise, and his long-term potential could make him a centerpiece of their project. How the deal is structured. The deal being discussed is a swap plus cash agreement. Liverpool would send Elliott to Palace, but they recognize that Guehi's market value is higher in the current transfer climate. To balance the scales, Liverpool are prepared to offer an additional cash sum. Reports indicate Palace value Guehi at around $55 to $60 million, while Elliott's value is closer to $30–35 million. This means Liverpool could end up paying roughly $20 to $25 million on top of Elliott to make the transfer happen. While the numbers are not yet finalized, both sides appear flexible and motivated to reach common ground. What this means for Liverpool's squad. If this deal is completed, Liverpool's defensive depth will be significantly boosted. They already have Van Dijk, Ibrahima Konate, Joe Gomez, and young Jarell Quansah. Adding Guehi would not only bring more quality, but also allow Klopp's successor to rotate effectively in a long season that will include Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, and Carabao Cup commitments. However, Liverpool would lose Elliott, a versatile midfielder who can also play wide. Elliott has been seen as part of Liverpool's future, but the club appear willing to sacrifice him for the sake of defensive balance. With Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister, Curtis Jones, and Ryan Gravenberch in midfield, Liverpool believe they can absorb the loss. What this means for Crystal Palace. For Palace, the loss of Guehi would be huge, but the arrival of Elliott softens the blow. Pairing Elliott with Ebereki Eze and Michael Olise, if the latter stays, could create one of the most exciting young midfields and attacking trios outside the top six. Palace would also receive cash as part of the deal, money that could be reinvested in finding a new defender to replace Guehi. The club are already scouting potential centre-back targets, with names in France and Germany being monitored. For a club like Palace, balancing competitiveness with sustainability is always key. While fans may feel disappointed to see their captain leave, Elliott's arrival promises creativity and long-term growth. Fans' reactions. Unsurprisingly, this saga has created mixed emotions among supporters of both clubs. Liverpool fans are excited about Guehi's potential arrival, many seeing him as the perfect long-term successor to Van Dijk. However, there is also sadness about Elliott's possible departure. Elliott is homegrown, passionate, and has always shown commitment to the club. Letting him go feels like losing a piece of Liverpool's future. Crystal Palace fans are worried about losing their defensive rock, especially since Guehi is loved at Selhurst Park for his leadership and consistency. But at the same time, some fans are optimistic about gaining a player like Elliott, who could light up their attack and give them fresh energy. The bigger picture. This deal highlights how modern football transfers are evolving. Swap deals were once rare in the Premier League, but they are becoming more common as clubs look for creative solutions in a challenging financial environment. By combining player exchanges with cash adjustments, clubs can balance books while still improving squads. For Liverpool, the focus is clear: rebuild and strengthen the defense while still competing at the highest level. For Palace, the challenge is maintaining competitiveness while managing the realities of being a mid-table club in a league where the richest sides can buy top talent. What happens next talks are expected to continue intensively in the coming days. Both sides are confident progress will be made, though no final agreement has yet been signed. Medicals, personal terms, and contract length for Guehi would also need to be sorted before the transfer can be officially completed. If the deal goes through, it will stand as one of the most eye-catching moves of the summer window. Not only would it reshape Liverpool's defense, but it would also transform Palace's midfield. The saga is being closely monitored by fans, journalists, and analysts alike. Whether it ends with Guehi walking into Anfield as Liverpool's newest defender remains to be seen, but the negotiations are at a stage where optimism is growing. Conclusion. Football transfers are often unpredictable, but what is clear is that Liverpool and Crystal Palace are locked in serious and advanced negotiations over a potential swap involving Marc Guehi and Harvey Elliott, plus cash. For Liverpool, it's about defensive strength and future planning. For Palace, it's about creativity, long-term growth, and financial balance. The deal, if finalized, would not only mark a big shift for both clubs, but also underline the creativity now needed in the transfer market. One thing is certain: this saga is one of the most fascinating storylines of the summer window.